Greetings, this is Darvan and welcome to my new Let's Play. This is a replay of The Sims 1. The Sims is one of those strange simulation games where there is not really a beginning or an end, just endless movement. But what I intend to do with The Sims is basically to try and explore as much of the game as possible, broken down into various series based on the overall storyline of the series. So, don't want to speak too much because unfortunately I can't actually get into the options without doing a game, so I think without going into a game itself, so we might as well just dive straight into the tutorial and learn how to play the game. Okay, so that's slightly better. I can talk here, and this is welcome to the Sims tutorial. Press OK to continue. Now, we are in the house of Bob and Betty Newby, the tutorial family. One of two pre-existing families that have already been placed in the limited number of lots of The Sims 1 when it first came out 20 years ago. And at the moment though we can only see Bob because that's part of the tutorial. We'll skip most of the cheats that revolve around exploiting the tutorial for fun and profit. And let's get on with it. Here is an overview of our tutorial house. Press the zoom in button in the control panel to get a closer look. You can press the escape key at any time to cancel this tutorial. This is the medium zoom level. Now press the zoom in button again and go to the closest view. There are several ways to scroll the screen. Try moving the cursor to different edges of the screen. Always pick that up, so we'll do that. Good. Another way to scroll is with the right mouse button. We can hold the right mouse button and move. This. Now let's rotate the view by pressing the rotate button. Now that you know how to control the view, it's time to go into live mode. Press the live icon below. Live turns on the simulation. This is where you can control the Sims, or just sit back and watch what they do. This is the only mode in which time passes in the game. All other modes, by build camera and options, will pause the game. Family member in the control panel. Family members appear in the control panel below. This family currently has just one person, Bob. Click on Bob's head in the control panel to centre him on screen. Now you're going to learn how to control Bob. Move the cursor to an empty spot in the middle of the square. Select it and press go here. Make sure you have the foot cursor before you click. When a pop-up menu appears, you need to roll over the words go here. They will highlight before you select the command. Good, now watch as Bob walks to that location. The Sims can be commanded to interact with most objects in the game. Move the cursor over several objects. Objects that light up have interactions at this time. Click on one of these and give Bob a command. Just turn off the radio. That will help with the sound. The needs below on the right show the different things that add up to determine Bob's mood. Okay. So that will help because unfortunately don't really want to disrupt the tutorial by going to the options just yet. And that is where we control the volume settings. But let's carry on. Let's increase Bob's hygiene a bit. Find a shower in this house and then command Bob to take a shower. There we go. take a shower. Notice the hygiene bar below. The green arrows show this need is improving. You can see down here. Click on the different need indicator bars. Each one will explain itself and show you example objects to satisfy that need. Objects satisfy these needs with different experiences. So basically, these are our needs, and there are currently 4 of them. I don't really need to explain this to the veterans, but for any newbies, we have hunger, which is your basic need to not starve to death. A refrigerator is the first stop for hungry Sims. The kitchen appliances you buy them affect the quality of the food they prepare. They can also call for pizza if they don't feel like cooking. Okay, we have energy. There is nothing like a good night's sleep to restore a sagging energy bar. For a short-term fix, try a nap on the couch or a hot cup of coffee. Comfort. Sims need to be comfortable. If there isn't a comfy chair or couch to sit on or a nice hot bath to relax in, this need can get mighty low. Okay, fun. Fun is different for everyone. Serious Sims may be more interested in reading a book, while playful Sims are more likely to enjoy some time at the pinball machine. Okay, we have hygiene. Hygiene. A shower or bath is always good for a dirty Sim. Hand washing after messy activities also helps keep hygiene high. Okay, social. Sims are social creatures and they crave social interactions. They can fulfill their social need by interacting with family, friends and neighbours. The phone is great for inviting people over. We have bladder. When a Sim's got to go, a Sim's got to go. And there's really only one way to go. Get them to a toilet with all due speed. And finally, room. Sims like big rooms with lots of lights. Windows help during the day and lamps are good at night. Decorations and landscaping helps bring this score up, but broken items, dirty dishes or trash bring things down. And altogether they go into what's known as a mood rating, which are these here. At the moment, Bob is pretty happy and basically because in a tutorial the moods don't decay, one of the exploits is to basically play the game without ever finishing a tutorial so that you can do all the things that would normally take energy and effort before you even start. But we're not going to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to pause time here. If you can keep most of these needs in the green, for your character will be happy. You will usually want to be fulfilling your Sim's most critical needs. Let's explore buy mode. Click the buy mode button below. Now there's music in buy mode. We still haven't sorted out the sound settings, so I'll try not to explain too much. Classic Sims music. Good, now you're in buy mode. Time has now stopped for Bob. It stopped because we paused it, but it's also stopped. This is where you'll come to spend Bob's hard-earned money. Icons on the left of the side of the buy panel represent different categories and what coloured pictures, and the coloured pictures on the right are specific objects in that category. Look through the buy catalogue and choose a chair on the bottom right. Well, okay, we'll do this quite simply. Got set up here, but we think, you know, there's a bookcase in here. What if Bob was to have a chair to sit on? Okay, to buy this object, first move it to a clear spot and place it. So we go there. Now you can rotate it by orientating which way you want. And that's job done. So let's go back to live mode. Okay. If you don't give commands to your sim, they will decide what to do on their own. Their behaviour is based on their current needs and their personality. Let's look at Bob's personality below. Click on the personality button below. Well, what we'll do is we'll have Bob sit down. Just to keep him out of the way. Sit down on our new chair. Not that it makes much difference, but hey. And we will then do this. So we have personality. Click on the personality traits to view pop-ups describing Bob's personality. Well, Bob has free neat, so he's the occasional cleaner. When it comes to cleaning up, I have a few basic rules. I flush when I'm done, throw away my own junk, and take out the trash now and then. Okay. Outgoing. Member of the crowd. I'm a little reserved, and it takes me a while to warm up to new people. You won't see me in the middle of huge crowds at parties, but I won't be sitting quietly in the corner either. Active. Laid back. Though not always on the go, I am somewhat motivated. Though I tend to linger a little too long in a nice cosy chair, I won't be caught sitting there all day either. Playful. Amused. I laugh at good jokes, dance if there are other people on the floor, and like to play games. Generally, I like having fun, but I don't go overboard. And finally we have nice, easygoing. While some sims can get on my nerves a little, I'm overall pretty good natured. So we can see Bob is fairly middle of the road on most of those traits. Okay, and now we've got a new family member, Betty. Click on the picture to select her on screen. Click on again to center her, she's over here. Okay. The indicator that was over Bob's head, which is the infamous plumb bob here, is now over Betty. This shows that she is now the selected character. And all the information shows her. So we can see she's an Aries. So, what we got? We have occasional cleaner and outgoing, playful, active, and nice. She's general, but slightly less playful, but still fairly middle of the road. So we'll do that, and then what we'll do is we'll have you bring in the paper. There are several ways to change the active character. One way is to move the mouse. Move the cursor over to Bob and click to select him. There we go. So right now Bob is selected. Another way is pressing the spacebar. Spacebar rotates. Now, Sims can interact with each other in the same way they interact with objects. Now that Betty's selected, you can left click on Bob to make her interact with him. Okay. So you notice how you click on the floor, you get the go here option. Click on objects, you get these options. You get the same with Sims. You click on them, you get these options. This style was known as the tree programming, in which essentially everything in the game is an object that you can interact with through various actions, and clicking on the actions is how the user interacts with the game. As well as that, there were several other interactions that can be done automatically, which are like hidden actions, so the user can't do them, but they can be chosen like any other action using the free will system. For now, let's make Bob and Betty flirt. There we go. Let's have Betty flirt with Bob for now. You can see how the Sims felt about that interaction by watching the relationship above their heads. Okay, try another action. Let's see. Let's try a back rub.
Bonjour. Who is a fan
Oh, that.
Okay, that's a good reaction. Okay, you can see how the selected character feels about this person by clicking on the relationship button below. Clicking on the image of the person in relationship brings up a pop-up that describes the state of that relationship. In this case, it's a smiley and it shows that they are friends. So, considering they're supposed to be a husband and wife in the setup, although that's not, should probably try and improve that a bit. When your Sims meet new people in a neighbourhood, they will appear on this relationship panel. You can invite them over if both families have a telephone. If you don't have a telephone, once you've met them, you can't ever contact them again until you put a telephone in both houses. Okay, Sims earn money by working. One way for them to get a job is by looking in the newspaper. Try to find a newspaper outside and use it to find a job. Okay, so let's find a job. No. And you'll see why in a minute. Let's have Bob find a job.
Whew.
I know it's very sexist and patriarchal, but you'll see why in pretty soon. The only job offer in the paper today is the pro athlete career for a team mascot. Yes, we will have that job. So, Bob is now got a job as a team mascot. So this is their job. And these are the skills that they can build in, which was quite limited in the first game, but was actually groundbreaking and covered most things. As the expansions progressed and added more and more stuff, that the Sims actually got to the complicated level that it's got today, which is not a bad thing. And some people quite enjoyed just the sheer scope of the game from the complexity. But let's have a look at the team mascot. Okay, a young athlete has to start somewhere, even if it's sweating inside a cartoon animal soup. A very physical grunt job with lousy pay, but at least you can watch the game from up close. Besides water, the coach expects you to prepare the players' snacks. A lot of snacks. Okay, so here's the skills. And okay, if you need a promotion, they will be underlined but none are needed. Bob's one example for getting Bob to show the job is so that you can see that some of the he has some of the skills, but there is actually a more reasonable gameplay reason for doing so. If you intend to keep a stay-at partner at home for socialisation purposes, which I will for these families, simply because I don't actually intend to be playing these families much. This is more about setting up the neighbourhood so that when my sim takes part in the story and goes up, that she's got people to interact with. Okay, so we have cooking. Read cookbooks from a bookshelf to improve the skill. As your skill increases, you will be surprised at how much more your meals satisfy your hunger and how the occurrence of kitchen disasters is reduced. Okay, we have mechanical. Being handy around the house can save money in expensive repair costs. It's also necessary to advance in certain careers. Prove this skill by studying do-it-yourself books from a bookshelf. So the first two skills we can get from a bookshelf. It's fairly simple. Charisma. Good communication and public speaking ability are essential for several careers, especially if you are considering politics. Spend time practicing in front of any mirror to improve this skill. Okay. Body. Strength, dexterity and speed. These are improved by swimming or working out on the exercise machine. The body skills especially valued in the pro athlete and military career tracks. We have logic. Logic combines reasoning abilities with organisation. It is especially useful in the medicine and science career tracks. Playing chess is a great way to improve this skill. And finally we have creativity. This skill includes artistic ability as well as the potential for invention and new thinking. It's important for several different career tracks. Try your hand at painting and playing the piano to improve this skill. Okay, the option mode is where you save. Quit and return to the neighbourhood. This is where you can set graphics, sound and play options. Click the options below. Okay, this concludes the tutorial. From here you can save this game and return to the neighbourhood, play with us, return to live mode, play some more, etc. Try creating a new family, meet Bob and Betty Newbie. Okay, so let's do what we want to do. First off, play options. We're okay doing all that. I am going to reduce the sound effects of the music and the Vox Abbots. This will hopefully make it better to hear my voice and improve the sound quality. Should be alright on graphics, and I am going to say yes to the help system and save the game here. But we're not going to finish yet because we're going to go back to live and carry on. So we want Bob and Betty to be in love, as if they're married. That's a good place to start, I think. You'll notice now that all the needs are decaying. So we'll build that, and then we'll go with a hug and a kiss. There we go, and that heart indicates that they are now in love. So if we look at their relationships, we can see Betty Newbie. Heart's desire. I adore this sim. I hope they feel the same way. I have to pay attention to how they respond to my advances to determine their true feelings. Could this be true simulated love? There we go. And let's... You know what? We have various things. Let's turn on the sound and turn on the television. Okay. Neighbours from other houses in the neighbourhood will drop by periodically. You can't control neighbours' actions directly, but if your sim is a good host, they may become friends. That's good, but I have no intention of becoming a good host with the newbies. Here we're just going to get used to various bits and bobs. You'll notice how, for example, let's go and see, do what. At the moment they'll just stand there for a while. Just cut that down. But you'll notice that they'll start behaving according to their needs. And it was this needs-based gameplay that pretty much drove The Sims 1 in the beginning. To the point that the challenge was balancing the needs of the household. Having 8 people on one bathroom means you need to carefully monitor who's emptying their bladder and doing what, for example. The AI for your Sims is relatively good, but in order to promote the needs-based gameplay, the Sims would choose from the top 4 actions that would make them happy, unless it was one of the needs that might suffer failure, like hunger, energy or bladder. So they could be relied on not to necessarily starve themselves or fall on the floor or pee themselves if you gave them adequate access, but other than that, to be happy rather than just exist, you needed to monitor their needs and let them go around and do whatever they want to do. Okay, now there's the phone, but you're about to see something interesting. See? They both run to answer the phone. Do you want to adopt a baby? No, thank you. Okay. So, the reason they ran to answer the phone was because the phone advertised that it was going to give them a huge boost to a lot of their needs. Even though it didn't. It was essentially lying. But this process of advertising from objects like is pretty much what drove the AI in The Sims. And since other Sims are also considered objects in terms of this method of advertising, it would often be used to drive whether they interacted with each other or not. But at the moment, because Bob and Betty are fairly happy, they're not really doing anything spectacular. There's no desperation, it's just not there yet. As you notice in the Sims 1, you have to pay for food. Even small snacks. So by paying for food, gives you the reason to basically go into various ways of making money, mostly of which was the career-based gameplay. Okay, let's see how Bob's doing at the moment. Let's go with this. Okay, Bob's still doing pretty well. It usually takes a day or so for their needs to kick in to the point of falling into the baseline around what their house and home can support. So, for example, there's not really many super comfortable objects, so for a while comfort will continue to drop. But they've got the necessities in terms of bladder and health. Don't really want to, so you can go away. Keep an eye on this. Let's have you do something. Instead, I want you to watch TV till she goes away. And I want Bob to do the same. He can... You know what? He can read a book until she goes away. How am I doing this? Well, because the guests that pop up and see you and walk in are all neighbours that you haven't met yet. but are otherwise placed. So, if they meet Belagoth now, when we play Belagoth and the Goth family, which is the other household, you won't be getting any ran by walking people, because we'll have met them all. So in order to give Belagoth something to do when we play her in the next episode, which we will be doing, we are not going to be meeting her now. Plus she has a nicer home, so... And you'll notice that at this point I'm not actually doing much, because there's not really much to do, and you can just sit there and enjoy watching the Sims be themselves if you have full work. Of course, we've got to half past, so what I will do is I will send them to bed, which is where I normally break the episodes up after doing 1 or 2 days, because the days can be very, very samey otherwise. Okay, let's get them into bed, because they're married, they will share a bed like a happy family, and they're early to bed. So with that, we can now go back to the neighbourhood, because we says here, did you know in The Sims the houses are saved games? Whenever you quit, the game is saved. When you go back to it, that's the state they are, which means they don't share a sort of timeline. Each lot is separate, and that would be the case until at least The Sims 3, which was probably one of its biggest flaws, but also its biggest assets for The Sims 3. So save you and go back to the neighbourhood. Now we have that's the newbies done. We have the Goths here, which we will explore in the next episode. And these are empty houses and empty lots. We also have the create a family screen, in which there are 3 ready-made families, and you can make our own. What I plan to do for this series is basically create my own sim, have them work their way up from being a bachelor all the way up until they get into the mansion on the hill. That's the plan anyway. But in order to help with that, we will need to do various things along the way to help set up the game, because at the moment the only friends that we can have would be with the Goths and the newbies, and you need friends in order to get to the top careers. I think you need something like 13, which is the most. I think could be higher for the politics career to get to the top level, which is way more than even all the Sims. So obviously we need to find a way to think about how we're going to populate these other lots, and that is what we will be looking at in the first series, because what I will do is probably a few episodes where we start out as a single woman moving into this one person bedroom here, which I always give to Michael Bachelor once she's moved out, to the point that she can get to here to get a roommate and eventually a husband. As representative as The Sims is, it wasn't anywhere near as representative right at the beginning. So you still have to, going back to these hiddy days, you can see that how progressive it is now. There's still a lot and how much far the actual game has come and progressed and become inclusive. Then what we normally do is try and get with two people, normally a double working family, move into this house here, because as you can see it's 24,000, and if you look, all the families in Simbin only have 20,000, which is your starting amount for a new family. So a new family cannot buy this house. But once we're married and worked our way up, we can get into there, at which point I will put usually put the Pleasants in there, because that's your classic two working family, 2.4 children, so they can earn the money to get into here when we eventually leave to go over here, which will take a lot of income because we need at least 50,000. But by that time, the time we get to that point, we should have had a few promotions, be well on our way with a family, and be able to get to accustomed to life on the top on the hill at number 2 Sim Lane. Pit stops on the way will probably involve, once the Pleasants move out, put in the roomies in here, because it's actually a good house for 2 people and a bit of squeeze for a family. I usually do a family of 8 adult Sims, each with their own room, to have a house that does rival the mansion on the hill, but you can see it be built up from scratch and see some of the dynamics of having a big house. Not sure about what I'm going to do with these lots yet. Thinking one, I might do a kind of I don't know if I'm going to go with a single parent family with loads of kids, just to add more kids to the neighbourhood, because other than the kids we got, Cassandra Goff and the 2 Pleasant children, there isn't really many children in the game, and they get short stick for quite a while. And I'll probably see about creating maybe some other households to put here, but I'm not sure what they will be just yet, because I mean, it could be, because the interrelational family dynamic isn't particularly brilliant here. I mean, you could have 3 Sims and say one of them is the mother-in-law, but they would all pretty much act as if they're all the same age and completely independent. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, it might be nice to kind of maybe put a single Sim down here as well, build a house up, and just have them build the house, but we will see. Now, in the meantime, this has been Darvain in the first episode of the replay of Let's Play of The Sims. If you like what you see in here, be sure to like, subscribe, share and comment, and until the next time, goodbye.